Why are the men so confused that we like being single?
Single women report significantly higher, significantly more likely to worry about money on a daily basis.
And you wonder why so many men choose to be single.
Being single as a man and only having to worry about yourself.
So many men are single right now?
How are so many single men surviving, and even thriving, in one of the toughest economies in years? With rising costs, inflation, and financial pressure everywhere, why are more men choosing to stay single instead of settling down? And why does this trend seem to be confusing so many people? Stay with us until the end of this video, because the answer may reveal a major shift happening in modern relationships.
I don't know, are you guys wondering why so many men are single right now? That's because women don't need them anymore. Women are no longer settling for the things that they used to. So if we have women providing and protecting themselves, what exactly does the man bring to the table? Yeah.
For years, people assumed that being single was financially harder. The common belief was that everyone would eventually seek a partner to help share responsibilities and expenses.
Being broke and single in this current economy is honestly terrifying. To feel like you're being punished just because no one wants to be with you, as if that's not bad enough, is really sad. I can't afford anything. It's just really negatively affecting my life. Like, my physical health is just down. I'm gaining weight. My mental health is in the toilet. I cry every day. I'm literally sitting on the floor right now, just rock bottom, stuck in survival mode. On days that I have off, I don't even leave my house. I just sit here and dissociate or cry. And I am applying. I'm looking for other jobs or for a second job, and there's just nothing out there. And I've even looked at like Trader Joe's, and there's nothing available. It's just like, we shouldn't living should not be this way. And I know I'm just stating the obvious. Everybody knows this. Like, we should be able to make living affordable wages whether we're single or not. But I'm just really depressed and I'm really scared. And I don't know what to do.
But in 2026, many men are proving that assumption wrong. Instead of rushing into relationships, they are simplifying their lives, reducing expenses, and focusing on financial independence.
I went on a date yesterday, and this guy said it's really hard being a single guy because he doesn't have a girlfriend with a purse. Because if he forgets something like chapstick, she has some. Band-Aid, she has some. A snack, she might have a snack in there. Maybe even a phone charger if you get lucky. So I was like, is this what men think? Do the men think that women have this purse full of like all of these random things? Because I don't have a charger in my purse. Yeah, maybe I'll have a snack in there. But I thought this was so funny because I'm like, this man really just said that it's hard being single because he doesn't have a purse. So I'm like, why don't you get a purse? Get a man purse. He's like, that's not my vibe. So basically, he's just going to be struck out of luck until he finds a girl. Because I'm not his girl. But I was like, this is so funny. This man was like pressed because he didn't have a girl with a purse with all of these magical things to pull out of it. I was like, what?
A growing number of men have realized that living alone gives them complete control over their money. Every financial decision becomes easier when there are fewer expectations competing for their income.
Let's talk about single women, money, and happiness. A new survey came out from Ally Bank that basically found that single women report significantly higher life satisfaction than single men. However, they are also significantly more likely to worry about money on a daily basis. And I actually think that kind of contradiction makes a lot of sense. There are plenty of reasons why single women feel very content. I won't get into those now, but there's tons of information out there about that. But I want to talk about the money piece, where I feel like a lot of the stress that a lot of single women feel is a very rational response to a system that was completely designed for dual income households. And while obviously, if you look decades back, we've made a ton of progress in single women being able to build their own lives financially and survive financially without needing a partner. However, the gender pay gap is still a thing. And also, like I said before, our policies and products are often designed to assume two incomes. If you think about it, like housing is often priced for two incomes. The tax code provides a lot of structural advantages for married couples, things like insurance premiums. Even the way the grocery stores package food in America, it's very much built for more than one person. And when you don't have a partner, a lot of financial decisions carry a lot more weight because it is completely on your shoulders. And, the system really penalizes, a lot of single people, especially single women, for potentially making their own lifestyle choice that is against the statistical norm. And because there isn't as much of a social safety net, especially in America, women are forced to shoulder the burden of potentially preparing for any sort of financial emergency or thing like that. Any single person would have to do that. And so I think, again, that's a really good example of, when you intentionally choose to go at it alone, you are forced to, have different money behaviors than, say, a couple would. You might not be able to take as many risks as somebody in a couple would. And I think it's a really interesting way of looking at how external factors and even personal decisions can wildly shape your financial future and how you spend and save.
What makes this trend interesting is that these men don't appear miserable. They are budgeting smarter, investing in themselves, building side incomes, and creating lifestyles that fit their goals.
Being single as a man and only having to worry about yourself is very peaceful. Women are an expense. You have to provide for them and you have to take care of them. And in return, they don't do what they're supposed to do. They want to take, but they don't want to give. So it's better to stay single. And if you have one of those women who actually contributes to the relationship and you're happy with it, just make sure she doesn't make more money than you, because then she's going to resent you and leave your ass anyways. So you just can't win if you're in a relationship. The only way to win and be at peace and enjoy life is to be single as a man.
Many bachelors are no longer trying to impress anyone. They're driving practical cars, avoiding unnecessary spending, and putting their energy into long-term financial stability.
America hates single people with no kids. And before you jump into my comment section because you have a cocoa melon, listen to me. People with cocoa melons, at least y'all have the resources available to y'all to help, right? You have government assistance. You have all of these resources and these things that I know it's hard to get into, but at least they help a portion of y'all.
Truthfully, being single in America by far is one of the hardest things to do, especially now with the cost of living being so high. Your financial discipline has to be on point. Everything is on you. Now, I understand there's going to be some people out there that say, well, at least I'm not paying for daycare and all that other stuff that comes along with raising a kid. I understand raising a kid is expensive. But for majority of people, you live in a household with someone else. If you're married with a kid, that's dual income. But by yourself, you have to figure everything out by yourself. A slight increase in anything will certainly ruin your budget, will set you back. You pick up a side hustle. It's really, 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 really hard living in a single household. And what makes matters even worse is you're seeing all these families with kids benefiting from the child tax credit. It really makes it feel like you're working and you're getting nothing. Like you're the one that's actually paying for other services and you're not even using it. So to all my singles out there with no kids, how are you surviving during these times?
Social media has also played a role. Men constantly see examples of other men building businesses, improving their skills, and creating freedom without making relationships their primary focus.
Why are the men so confused that we like being single? I just saw this TikTok from this guy named Kevin, and he's like, why do women promote singleness so much? And he says, when I'm in a relationship, I operate so much more effectively. Is that the mental and emotional labor that she was doing for you? Sounds like it. Is that the reason that she's no longer around? Possibly. But for the first time in history, right, men have to compete not just with other men, right, but also with a woman's alone time and with the life that she has created for herself. And they are not coping well with that. They don't seem to understand that we like being alone. We have hobbies, we have friends, we have interests, we're outperforming them in education. We don't need a relationship We no longer need to have a man in our life in order to get something like a credit card, a bank account, own a house. We can do all of that stuff ourselves. So if a man is not adding to your life now, you don't need him. This was not the case 50 years ago. 50 years ago, a woman couldn't have a credit card. So, I mean, I love my partner and everything. Whenever I make these videos, men in the comments assume that I'm single for some reason. I'm not. I did love being single, though. I will say that. Being single was awesome. My life now, also awesome. Why do they think we only hear about the male loneliness epidemic? Because women don't see singleness as loneliness. Because it's not. Make some friends, get a hobby. Learn to enjoy time with yourself. Being alone is awesome. What? Why are they so confused by this?
What surprises many observers is how content these men seem. Instead of feeling trapped by singleness, they often describe feeling more flexible, less stressed, and more in control of their future.
So let me pick up where I left off. Fellas, you keep saying, I'd rather stay single. Women are too much. I don't need the headache. I get it, but let's be real. That is crap. You don't actually want to die alone with a freaking gaming console and a fridge full of frozen pizza. You don't, because guess what? Biology doesn't lie. Men and women were designed for each other. That is masculine and feminine polarity. That's not just some TikTok buzzword. That is nature. That's why when you're with the right woman, everything in your life sharpens. Your drive, your purpose, your discipline, everything. Now, sure, being single is easy. No drama, no compromise, no responsibility. But easy gets old. The hookups get boring. The soulless sex gets depressing. The silence in your house starts getting loud. And then what? You're 40, 50, 60 years old. Nobody by your side. Nobody in your bed. Nobody to build with. That is not freedom. That's failure. Here's the truth. Men need women and women need men. That's a beautiful balance. That's order. That's how we're wired. The problem, though, is too many men give up before they figure us out. They throw their hands up like it's too complicated instead of leaning in and cracking the damn code. When you do crack the code, life gets great. You get respect. You get loyalty. You get passion. You get peace in your home and fire in your bedroom. That's not a bad deal if you ask me. That's a jackpot. So stop lying to yourself that staying single forever is the move. It's not. Master your woman. Don't run from her, because the man who figures out his woman is the man who truly wins at life.
As a result, many men have become more selective about relationships. They don't view commitment as something they must have. They view it as something that must add value to an already stable life.
Bro, imagine you 27, you work in a salary job, you pay your car note, your rent, insurance, your light bill, water bill, gas bill, all your other expenses now. And you struggling to do that. Now, imagine someone expecting you to pay theirs as well, and dates, and buy gifts. And then, if you don't do that, you get blasted, and they say you are not being a man. There's a reason now 80% of men are not trying to date and are staying single right now. Be honest. It's crazy. Crazy.
The biggest shift may be psychological. Men are no longer asking, how quickly can I find a relationship? They are asking, does this relationship improve my situation?
And you wonder why so many men choose to be single. Choose is a very strong word to use here. Because while yes, it's true, there are a lot more single men than there are single women, there's a big difference between correlation and causation. So let's take a look at this report from Time magazine to see what some of those reasons could actually be. Of the single men in question, almost a third of them live with a parent. They're more likely to be unemployed, financially fragile, and lack a college degree. They're also likely to make less money. So is it that these men are choosing to be single or that women are choosing not to be with them. Because in this day and age, women are allowed to have standards. We couldn't have standards before. I don't know if you know this, but it wasn't until 1974 that women were allowed to open a bank account without a man. It's almost as if the high value men have partners, the ones who have something to bring to the table, and those who are not are being left behind. I might be confused. Is it women that run the online incel community? I didn't think so. And as a successful woman online, it is so funny to me because I see these men come on here and they make comments like this. And in their real lives, I bet they pretend to like women, but then they come online and they let their true thoughts out. And honestly, it is fucking scary. The double standards, the disrespect, the belief that if a woman has anything in her life, a man must have given it to her. And if you could just get those two little brain cells bumping around in your head together for long enough to go online and look up this information, you'd see that statistically women are more educated, they are better savers, and they are better investors than men.
This isn't a loud movement. Most men aren't making public statements about it. They are simply adapting to economic realities and choosing what works best for them.
Women are scared of happily single men. You want to know why? Let's get into it. Being happily single as a man makes you more appealing. Men that don't need to be in a relationship. Men that have high standards. Men that don't chase women. They chase in purpose. This makes women think, wonder if that man is actually interested in them, and will in turn, y'all listen to this, increase the value of that man and his expressed interest in their minds.
Why a lot of men love being single. So ladies, if you're watching this, this is what you're up against and what you're competing against. 1, he can enjoy all of his hobbies without being nagged or put down or his hobbies made fun of. His friends might lightly tease him, but for the most part, they're probably into the same hobbies he is, and he's gonna have so much fun with them. So if you're in a relationship with a man, make sure you show full support for his hobbies. 2, he doesn't have to worry about financially serving anybody. Unfortunately, for a lot of men, relationships are insanely expensive. There's always that joke that he went to the restaurant without his girlfriend and he only had to spend like $10. Whereas with his girlfriend, he would have spent $50. Now that's probably an exaggeration, but you get what I'm getting at. And next, they can live and decorate the way they want to. They don't feel the need to have all these weird items around the house for no apparent purpose other than to collect dust. They can have that simple, minimalist setup that looks clean and beautiful, and it's effortless to maintain.
Whether people like it or not, one thing is becoming clear. When men learn to thrive independently, the traditional assumptions about dating and relationships begin to change.
Something that is not talked about enough is how there's going to be a population decline in like the next 10 years. Because there are so many beautiful men and women out there that are not dating anyone. I'm going to be talking about this from my point of view and from a girl's side of things. Every single couple that I meet in today's age, they have met on a dating app. Now, once in a blue moon do I hear like, oh, we were high school sweethearts or something. But for majority, no. It is all through a dating app. And for those people who are in relationships, shout out to you. Honestly, you're amazing. Good for you that like all these dating apps worked for you. But for a good chunk of individuals, dating apps just aren't the thing for everyone, no matter what the reason might be. Now for myself, I hate texting. I feel as though that I am a big talker. So when I go on a dating app and like trying to start up a conversation and get to know someone via text does not work. The other option we have is to meet people organically, out and about in the real world. But honestly, that is very funny because it does not happen whatsoever. So this is where we're going to see a population decrease because no one talks to each other anymore and like tries to make a move in person, if that makes sense. I'm 24 years old and I have never had a boyfriend. And I think I'm like the perfect case study for this entire topic because I'm a girl who in high school was a part of sports teams, also was in the performing arts, was working like 3 jobs. And I went to a 4-year undergraduate university, dormed there, lived the whole college experience, went out and everything, had the whole shebang, rah. And nothing happened. Now I am 1 year post-grad, which is so freaking weird. And I have been at home in the same exact spot working. I work full-time as a bartender, the place where you think you would be able to meet people. And on top of it, I'm traveling, I'm going out, I'm living my best life. and nothing ever comes of it. Now, this isn't supposed to be like some sad sob story. I'm not the only one that this happens to. Like, I have so many friends that are in the same exact position. So to anyone feeling like you're the problem, it's not you, it's everyone. There is so many people in this world feeling the same exact way, that I've never had a boyfriend. Am I weird for this? No, you're not. Something's in the air, and I feel like people are not pursuing it as much as they should be, because nobody wants to be alone. Everyone would love to have a partner in life. And if we continue at this rate, we're simply going to see a world where no one is in a relationship, and the birth rate is going to be the lowest it's ever been.
So here's the real question. Are single men surviving this economy because they've given up on relationships, or because they've discovered that financial freedom and personal peace are worth protecting?
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest